Now, we have now about a year and a half worth of research into this device that I invented called the Biomimetic Enhancer, and I'm on generation 5 of this. The first one was just to see if the technology would work, and then the second one was intended to be a device used on human beings, and it actually turned out that it was too strong. You couldn't use it for more than 10 minutes because it placed too much stress on the body because of the effect. And basically, this is a new form of light therapy. So this is different than the patches, this is different than a cold laser, and it provides light therapy in a very interesting way. The backstory of this is that when I was doing my studies on ants and on lobsters, my thinking was everyone's looking at the biochemistry, but we know that it's the biophysics, the bioelectrical system and the biomagnetic fields in the body control the biochemistry. So I started to create a model to look at what were the biophysics involved in lobsters and ants, were there any commonalities, and could we figure out which wavelengths of light were going to be responsible for preventing these lobsters and ants from aging. By the way, lobsters have been found to be 132 years old and never have aged in the process. Do we have any Marvel fans here? We got a few Marvel fans? Okay. You know how, well, maybe you don't know, but Asgardians, right, like Thor and Odin, they actually get stronger as they age. So the lobsters are the Asgardians of Earth, right? They actually get stronger as they age. They actually become more sexually active as they age too, as it turns out. So if you're wondering whether or not you have to give up sex when you're 200 or 300 years old, the good answer is you'll be more sexually active then than you are today. It probably explains why Noah was having kids at 550 years old, all right? Okay, so this device is intended to be a piece of technology that is biomimetic. It's meaning we're copying a process in nature, putting it into a piece of technology. And we did a number of pilot studies with this on the first generation, the second generation, the third generation, and now we're up to number 5. And we wanted to see what would happen in these tests. And there were a number of things that occurred that are very, very difficult to explain. For example, the pH of the blood in the test subjects went from about 7.6 to 9.8 in only 10 minutes. But yet it did that without any change in the dissolved solids, meaning potassium is going to be the most powerful regulator of pH. That was discovered at Oxford. So when you're eating vegetables that are high in potassium, the alkalinity is actually coming from potassium, right? And so somehow this technology was able to increase the pH without changing the amount of electrolytes in the body. And we don't know how that's possible yet. So for example, I see a medical use of this, and I can say this because we're not selling the tech. I see a medical use for this is that we know that cancer cells reproduce anaerobically, and as a result, they produce lactic acid through their metabolism. And so I want to look at a medical application for this, where you take somebody that has lung cancer, cancer in the thyroid, you hold this device over the tumor and allow it to dissolve the tumor with light. So that's where I think something like this could go. The other thing that it showed, which was really weird, it was creating some kind of energy field around the body that shows there's an immediate decrease in fat and increase in muscle. So we don't know why the equipment would show that. And when we measure aging, we want to look at the total. One of the measures that we want to look at is the size of the cell. So in other words, the electrical potential of the cell is optimum when we're young and healthy. And then about age 25, the fibroblasts begin to decrease production of collagen, and collagen is what holds the cells together. It's called the cytoskeleton, and the most abundant protein in the body, of course, is collagen. So what that means is that after the age of 25, we're aging, the collagen production is going down, the cell is shrinking. This inhibits the ability of the cells to hold water, and the electrical charge around the cell decreases. And as the cells divide, this reduces the amount of energy transfer that occurs in a back EMF over to the new cells being created. What this simply means is that if we can expand the cells and get them back into a more youthful state, that is a very important part of age reversal. And we found that this device would equate to about a 3-year reversal in age in about 10 minutes. So why aren't we using it now? The reason is because having an alkalinity in your blood of 9.8 all the time is not a good thing, and is going to overstress the cell. So we know the tech works. Now it's a matter of refining it, and I think we're getting there very, very nicely. Okay. I have a few different pieces of equipment that we use. 2 pieces of equipment that I use quite regularly are a biopulsar and a Menla scan. And a biopulsar is like an EEG for the organs in the body. So in real time, we can see the bioelectrical activity in different regions in the brain, in the heart, the liver, the kidneys. And then it can take all of that data and distill it down into a graph, which I'll show you, a visual image. So this would be a baseline reading that's normal. 30 seconds after applying the Biomimetic Enhancer, we see an increase in the energy field, and then 90 seconds after application, we see a further increase in the energy field around the body. So, in other words, the changes that we saw through the blood and urine analysis matched up to the bioelectrical readings. Very powerful effect very quickly. Now, we want to create a Lifewave lifestyle. So when you wake up in the